Greetings, day 2 of Lent. About a week ago in the office of the readings, I came across a psalm passage that I've seen for years, obviously, but it struck me and it's been with me all this week. From Psalm 76, "Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God." To me, that's how the Lenten season should begin. I need to acknowledge that I am already and always in the presence of God. That's a given. Be still and know that I am God. Now, this is my 72nd Lenten season. I don't remember anything much from the first 5, but as a young kid, my approach and my attitude towards Lent has definitely evolved and grown. In those days, this is the 1950s, Lent at that point seemed to be based on the exterior, the external actions. It was very rigorous. We were told in Sunday sermons, not homilies, definitions of meals, how much to eat, when we could eat, those types of things in the whole fast and abstinence realm. Lent had a very negative connotation to it. Giving up movies, sweets, if you're adult, alcohol, candy, things along that nature. But far too often then, rather than it being a sacrifice, it transformed into simply delayed gratification. And I'll tell a story on my own self. We had a shoebox on top of the refrigerator. And as Lent started, my brother and I would put our candy in that shoebox and save it throughout Lent. Then when Easter came, Lord, what a sugar high for days. I pity my poor parents. All we did was delay the gratification. Then another thing that, in a sense, I'm horrified in hindsight. We were encouraged in grade school to bring our nickels and dimes and quarters and whatever, and we would save it to help foreign missions, which is in itself is a very good thing. But the program was called Get enough I don't remember the dollar amount, but collect enough money, and it was we could buy a pagan baby. Some of you might remember that. Well, following Vatican II, 1962 to 1965, those rigid restrictions were eased, and personal responsibility started to enter the picture. And I think with responsibility came creativity. Certainly we were still urged to give things up, but not necessarily personal pleasures. Perhaps to give up gossiping, give up sarcasm, give up judging others. Maybe even give up being terribly harsh on your own self, holding myself to such a high standard I could never achieve it. And I never would expect that of anybody else. But begin seeing myself as a work in progress. In fact, guilt was a big part of that pre-Vatican II mentality. We started to use Catholic guilt, some of you will remember that turn of phrase, as a motivator to look at a particular situation and what could I do to correct it, to have a positive influence, to move it in a much better direction. Because I may have participated in that to begin with. So, Lent started this year about 5 or 6 days ago for me with that passage. Be still and know that I am God. For these first few days of Lent, be still. Embrace silence. And approach it not what I'm going to do during this Lenten season, but to listen. What is God asking of me? What is God offering me in this Lenten season? I need my scriptures. Because it reminded me very much of a favorite passage from 1 Kings chapter 19. Elijah. Then Elijah was told, go out and stand on the mountain before Yahweh. Then Yahweh himself went by. There came a mighty wind, so strong it tore the mountains and shattered the rocks before Yahweh. But Yahweh was not in the wind. After the wind came an earthquake, but Yahweh was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire, but Yahweh was not in the fire. And after the fire, there came the sound of a gentle breeze. And when Elijah heard this, he covered his face with his cloak and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. Then a voice came to him. This translation has the words gentle breeze, the sound of a gentle breeze. Some other translations offer a whispering sound. It's in the silence that I might actually hear the voice of God. Sometimes I like to adapt that, and there's an old song, looking for love in all the wrong places. Well, in a sense, we're looking for God in all the wrong places. Thunder and lightning, major events. When I find God speaks most loudly and clearly to me in the calm, in the quiet. So this Lent, begin, be silent, and know that I am God.